So, welcome back to part two. So, now that we've gotten our golden ticket, now we're going to go through the home buying process. And for these next few minutes, I'm just going to kind of walk you through these quick 7 steps, and then we'll go over some slides that specifically go through certain areas of these steps. So, maybe a part three, I don't know. But for whatever reason, once we've gotten our golden ticket, our pre-approval, you've met with the lender, you determined the right mortgage for yourself, you got your pre-approval letter, which is your golden ticket, as I explained in the previous video. I will send you out a buyer package. We'll have a buyer presentation. I sit down and explain to you different documents that we need to sign in order for you to be in contract with me to help you purchase a home. And one form that I do send you to sign, it's a buyer questionnaire. And it helps me to know you better, know the things that you're looking for, whether you have kids, whether you need a specific school district, whether you want 5 bedrooms versus 3 bedrooms, whatever information it will help me learn about you as a buyer. That information will be on that form. When I get that form, we'll discuss it quickly, and then I'll set you up for search and showing. I go into our multiple listing system, another name for it may be the MLS, and I look for those things specifically based on what you put on that buyer questionnaire. And once I find those things, I set up an automated email. So anything that comes up in the area that you want that has the criteria that you want will automatically be sent to your email. It opens up in your own personal portal where you can love one with a heart. You can put a light bulb on another one that you're thinking about. And on another one, if you don't like it at all and it's something you're not interested in, you can throw it in a trash can. And the portal is set up for your convenience so you can take notes. You can communicate with me through the portal, but honestly, I don't always check the portals because I have a lot of buyers and people set up on portals. So if you specifically want to see a house, it's better to communicate with me directly through text or email and send me the house that you want to see, and I will look at it and make sure they're taking your type of financing, whether they have any offers on it, what's the showing schedule, and we can get out there to schedule that showing. I do this full time, so I'm often able to work with your schedule, and I try to do that as much as I possibly can. If I can't make it, we'll work around both of our schedules so that we can get out there and get to the properties that you would like to see. If you find a property that you really like and you want to put in an offer on it, we'll go to step 3, the offer and negotiation area. Where you have to put in an offer, I oftentimes look at other properties that have sold in that area to ensure that you're going to pay the right price for it, or maybe we can get it at a cheaper price depending on condition, or whether, the price that the seller is asking for is the right price. So we'll do a comparable to some other properties in the area, and we're going to put in a strong offer. And within the agreement of sale, which I'll explain to you during our consultation and during this process of offer and negotiation, within that agreement of sale, there are many terms. So we want to make sure we negotiate those terms so that you can get your offer accepted. Okay. If your offer is accepted, or let's say when your offer is accepted, we go through the escrow. We put that initial deposit that we discussed on the finance page in video 1. We put that initial deposit down, or a good faith deposit to let the seller know that we're serious about buying this home and we want them to take it off the market. Remember that initial deposit is 1 to 3% of the offer price. Now, let me just interject here. There is an asking price and there is an offer price. The asking price is what the seller lists the property on the market, on the real estate market for. So they may list the price at $450,000. When we put in an offer, we don't have to put in $450,000 as our offer price. We can put less. We could put more depending on what I find out by researching those comparables finding out whether there's more than one offer on the property, find whether we're asking for seller assist, many different scenarios because there's different terms in the contract that we can negotiate. But asking price and offer price are two separate things. So when we put that earnest money deposit down, we're putting it down based upon our offer price. Okay. So the next thing that you'll do at that time is also go complete your loan application with the lender that you have chosen. And we'll get that done right away. Usually 7 days into our contract, you go complete that loan application within that 7-day time frame so that we can start the process of taking that pre-approval to a mortgage approval, okay? We will schedule inspections. Now, me as a realtor and associate broker, I will never tell you not to get inspections. You need your inspections. You need to know what the property is going on, like what's going on in the property. So I will always tell you to get your inspections. There's a form that I submit to you. It's just a disclosure form that says for your protection, get a home inspection. You get a home inspection, you get a termite inspection. Sometimes you get radon inspections, well inspections, sewer inspections. You can choose the inspections that you would like, but I do highly recommend getting inspections. The seller does provide us during the contract period with what we call a seller's property disclosure. That seller's property disclosure lets us know everything the seller knows about the home. But sometimes you can live in a house for 20 years and not realize you have a leak behind the wall, which most inspectors don't look behind the wall, but they might see something like, you know, you might have a dresser there and then you pull it out because you're about to move and you see a little leak. And if the inspector sees that, he might be like, oh, well, it might be something going on behind the wall. He can't look behind the walls. Inspectors don't look behind walls. They kind of look around the room and see different things, or you know, it might be an outlet that you use and you haven't used it in a minute because you forgot it didn't work and they plug it in, the outlet is not working correctly, or the wires are reversed. It's some kind of tool that they tell you that the wires might be reversed behind the outlet and how it was installed. So it's different things that the inspector provides, but the seller does provide a seller property disclosure and a lead-based paint disclosure if the house is built before 1978, letting you know whether they know whether it has lead paint or not. But we just advise inspections, okay? I would never tell you not to get an inspection. When those inspections come back, it's an opportunity to negotiate, to see if the seller will fix some things, or when you look at the inspection report and you say, ooh, this is a lot, I don't know, this is your opportunity, you know, to say, hey, I'm not sure about this house. I don't think I want to move forward. And you can get out of the contract and get your initial deposit back. But there are timelines that we need to meet. And when you go under contract, I provide you with a timeline schedule, and I will send reminders via email, via text, via video text, to say, hey, we need to meet this deadline by this certain time. There are all kinds of terms and terms in the contract and deadlines in the contract. And the inspections are a big area of opportunity where we have to meet deadlines in order for us to move forward, negotiate properly, or either you terminate the contract, you and the seller mutually agree to terminate the contract. Okay? So once we do inspections, we negotiate repairs or anything like that from the inspection. Sometimes we can negotiate that the seller purchases you a home warranty, which takes care of the systems in your home. So once we do all of that, we continue with our financing process. And you'll work closely with the lender during this time, but you will have an appraisal order. And usually that's a cost out of your pocket. Either, you know, you could put it on your credit card or pull it out the bank account that you have closing costs, funds available. And the lender's processor or underwriter may ask for a copy of, like, okay, you paid that on your credit card or you paid that out of your bank account, some type of proof. You order that appraisal, and we'll discuss what happens with the appraisal, but most of all, the appraisal tells you the value of the house, whether the house is worth that value. Okay. During that time, also, you're going to be obtaining homeowners insurance. You have to have homeowners insurance to keep your house protected in case anything happens to it, as far as like fires, a tree falling on it, something fall on the roof, anything. You want to have homeowners insurance. It's an insurance that protects your house. And then we're waiting to receive what we call the clear to close from the lender. We're doing all of these things. Sometimes the lender will ask you for some of the same things again. Oftentimes they'll ask for another copy of your bank statements, or they might ask you for something they asked you for before. Do not get frustrated during that process. It is their process to help you get to that the mortgage will commit to lending you this money. It can be a tedious process when you're going through the purchase of a home. But if you have a qualified realtor to help you with the process and a qualified lender to help you through the process, you can go through it as smoothly as possible and have guidance through it, because it is a process. Okay. So after we get the clear to close from the lender, our mortgage commitment, we perform a walkthrough. And that walkthrough, I usually do 2 walkthroughs, one 3 days before we close on a house or go to settlement, just to make sure if all those things are done that we maybe requested repairs for. We walk through to make sure those things were done. We're making sure that the seller is beginning to pack their items and not leaving things in the house, because according to the contract, the property is to be left broom swept and cleaned if that's what we negotiated. Like, we're not buying it as is, but sometimes you still want things removed from the house. So we want to make sure the seller's not leaving things that, you don't want of theirs. So we're just kind of walking through the house to see if everything is in order. No, fires happen. No little things have happened. No new leaks have come or anything like that. We're just making sure everything is in order. And we're doing that 3 days before closing. And then I also do a second one. I usually do this one by myself, but you can certainly join me as a buyer the day of closing, the morning of closing, or right before, a couple of hours before closing, if it's in the afternoon, to again make sure all things are in order as you last seen them the last time you were in the house. We go to the closing table or to the settlement table. You sign some documents and you get your keys and celebrate buying a home. So that is the home buying process in a nutshell. But this next part, I'm going to explain certain pieces of that process so that you're aware of some terminologies that happen during the process. So I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm always here to help. Your dedicated realtor, Shawn Marie Freeman. Remember, life happens in real estate.